Have you ever been talking to someone and noticed they just won't look you in the eyes? Maybe you ask them a question and they glance away, or their eyes dart around the room like they're searching for an escape hatch. Sometimes they keep looking down at their hands or their phone or just somewhere, anywhere that isn't your face. It's a strange feeling, isn't it? Because whether we realize it or not, eye contact is one of the most powerful forms of human connection we have. When it's there, we feel acknowledged, respected, understood. When it's missing, we start to wonder, are they lying to me? Are they shy? Do they dislike me? Are they intimidated? Or is there something much deeper going on in the brain? Something they might not even be aware of themselves. In this video, we're going to dig into exactly why people avoid eye contact. We'll look at the science, the psychology, the cultural differences, and the personal reasons that could be hiding behind this small but powerful social behavior. By the end, you'll be able to read these moments like a book, and you'll understand that when someone avoids your gaze, it's not always what you think. The power of eye contact. To understand why people avoid eye contact, we first have to understand why it matters so much. From the first moments of life, our eyes are one of the first tools we use to connect. Studies show that newborn babies will naturally lock eyes with their caregivers. In those early days, before we have words, before we even have full control over our own bodies, our eyes are how we bond. Eye contact releases oxytocin, sometimes called the love hormone or bonding hormone. It's the same chemical that strengthens the connection between a mother and her child, between lovers, and even between close friends. That's why eye contact feels so personal. It literally changes our brain chemistry. In conversation, eye contact serves as a social glue. It helps us signal attention, respect, interest, and emotion. In fact, there's a part of the brain, the fusiform face area, whose entire job is to process faces, especially eyes. This is why we notice even the smallest changes in someone's gaze, a quick glance, a lingering look, or an averted stare. But eye contact isn't just about connection. It's also about power. In many social situations, the amount of eye contact you give and the amount you receive communicates dominance, submission, confidence, or insecurity. And that's part of why avoiding eye contact can feel so loaded. When someone won't look you in the eye, your brain instantly searches for meaning. But as you'll see, the meaning depends heavily on context. Social anxiety and self-consciousness. One of the most common reasons someone avoids eye contact is social anxiety. Imagine this, you're walking into a party. You don't know many people there. Your heart's racing, your palms are sweaty, and in your mind, it feels like everyone is watching you. Now someone approaches and starts talking. You know you should make eye contact, but it feels like a spotlight is on your face. Your instinct is to look away because holding that gaze feels overwhelming. That's social anxiety at work. It's not about rudeness. It's about survival, at least from the brain's perspective. For someone with social anxiety, prolonged eye contact can trigger the amygdala, the brain's fear center. This makes the body react as if it's in danger. Adrenaline increases. The person becomes hyper-aware of their own facial expressions, voice, and posture. And looking into someone's eyes feels like too much sensory input to handle. Even without diagnosed anxiety, moments of self-consciousness can have the same effect. If someone feels insecure, judged, or less than in a situation, avoiding eye contact can be a way to protect themselves from feeling exposed. Interestingly, some people aren't even aware they're doing it. It becomes a subconscious habit. Their eyes automatically glance away before their brain has even processed why. Cultural differences. Here's something important. Not all eye contact avoidance is emotional. Sometimes it's cultural. In much of the Western world, especially in countries like the United States, Canada, and much of Europe, steady eye contact is seen as a sign of honesty, confidence, and respect. But in other parts of the world, those same traits can be interpreted completely differently. For example, in Japan, prolonged eye contact can feel confrontational or disrespectful. People may instead look towards someone's neck or mouth when speaking. In parts of Africa, avoiding eye contact with elders or authority figures is a sign of respect, not dishonesty. In many Middle Eastern cultures, men and women outside the family may avoid prolonged eye contact to maintain modesty. In indigenous cultures across North America and Australia, children are sometimes taught to avert their gaze when spoken to by elders as a sign of humility and listening. This means that if you're speaking to someone from a culture different from your own, their avoidance of eye contact might have nothing to do with discomfort or dishonesty, and everything to do with deeply ingrained social norms. The biology of avoidance. Eye contact isn't just social, it's biological. When you lock eyes with someone, your brain is doing a lot of behind-the-scenes work. Two systems in particular are activated. 1. The social engagement system, designed to connect you with others. 2. The threat detection system, designed to protect you from harm. If the social engagement system wins, you keep eye contact, you smile, you connect. If the threat detection system takes over, you might look away, shift your body, or create physical and visual distance. Why? Because in our evolutionary past, a direct gaze from another creature often signaled threat, whether it was a predator, a rival, or a dominant member of our own group. That instinct is still wired into us. Also, the brain has a limited processing capacity. Maintaining eye contact while speaking requires cognitive resources. This is why people often glance away when they're thinking hard. It frees up mental bandwidth. So sometimes, gaze avoidance is simply a sign that someone's processing information. They're not ignoring you, they're actually trying to respond more thoughtfully. Guilt, deception, and overcompensation. Of course, sometimes gaze avoidance is about hiding something. It's a stereotype in movies, the liar who can't meet your eyes. And yes, research shows that avoiding eye contact can be a sign of guilt, shame, or deceit, but it's not a guarantee. Here's the twist: skilled liars often overcompensate. They maintain more eye contact than normal, hoping to appear convincing. They know people expect shifty eyes from a liar, so they give you the opposite. This is why body language experts say you should never judge deception based on eye contact alone. You have to look for clusters of behaviors, like nervous fidgeting, inconsistencies in the story, micro-expressions of fear, or sudden changes in vocal pitch. Still, when guilt or shame are genuine, not manipulative, avoiding eye contact is common. It's a subconscious way of distancing oneself from the discomfort of being confronted. Attraction and vulnerability. Now for one of the more surprising reasons someone might avoid your gaze: attraction. Think about it. When you really like someone, eye contact can feel intense. Your heart rate increases, your palms get sweaty, and you suddenly become hyper-aware of everything about them. Sometimes this leads to more eye contact, but for shy or anxious individuals, it can have the opposite effect. Psychologists call this the approach avoidance conflict. They want to look at you, they really do, but doing so makes them feel too exposed. So instead, they steal quick glances, look away when you catch them, or focus on something else entirely. In romantic contexts, these little moments of gaze avoidance can actually be part of the dance of attraction. They build tension, curiosity, and anticipation. Neurodiversity and eye contact. For many neurodivergent individuals, eye contact feels very different than it does for neurotypical people. For example, many autistic people describe direct eye contact as overwhelming, distracting, or even physically uncomfortable. It's not about rudeness or lack of interest. In fact, some may be deeply engaged in the conversation, just without sustained gaze. Similarly, some people with ADD find it easier to listen when they're making eye contact. For them, avoiding your gaze might actually be a sign of better focus, not worse. It's important to remember, Different brains process social signals differently. Eye contact is just one piece of the puzzle. How to respond. So what should you do when someone avoids your gaze? First, don't jump to conclusions. Instead, consider the possible reasons. Is it cultural? Is the person shy or anxious? Are they thinking deeply? Could they be feeling guilty or embarrassed? If you sense discomfort, try softening your own gaze. Give them breaks. Smile, nod, and use open body language. The goal isn't to force eye contact, it is to make the interaction feel safe. Over time, trust can change someone's comfort level with looking you in the eyes. The bigger picture. Eye contact is powerful, but it's not the only way humans connect. Tone of voice, body language, physical proximity, and facial expressions all play massive roles in communication. If someone avoids your gaze, they might still be showing interest in other ways, leaning toward you, mirroring your gestures, or engaging verbally. The real skill is to read all the signals together, rather than fixating on just one. When someone avoids your gaze, it can feel personal. But as we've seen, it's not always about you. It might be anxiety, culture, biology, attraction, neurodiversity, or simply habit. The key is to approach every interaction with curiosity rather than judgment. Because when you understand the psychology behind eye contact and the lack of it, you gain a deeper insight into human behavior itself. Sometimes the eyes really are the window to the soul. And sometimes they're just the window to a very busy, overwhelmed brain.